does anyone feel like in 2020 that nothing but demons got released? Like, I feel like during the time of COVID, it was nothing but a great like delusions set to be out on the public, because honestly, like, life, everything was nice and normal up until COVID happened. Like, I feel like that whole thing was the true start of tribulation. And I'm not just, I mean, and again, I'm not like knowledgeable on everything, and I'm not trying to lead people astray with false information, but I just feel like when COVID hit and when it was 2020, I feel like we all fell into a great disillusion. Like, even I myself, like, that was even when I was going through things. My dad passed away, everything was going on, and like we had to wear masks, and then it was either you take the thing, you don't take the thing, you follow this, you bow, you don't bow. And it's like, why are we really not talking about this? And I feel like none of us ever fully recovered, to be honest. Like, I feel like we're all still kind of in that time, like, stuck. And it feels like after all these years have passed, it feels like we've been trying to get back to normal, and we've been trying to get back to how like normal society was running, but we just haven't been able to quite get there. Like, it genuinely feels like the moment 2020 happened, and the moment, because 2019 was cool. We felt something, like, it was like we felt something was going to happen. Things felt a little shaky, but then 2020 really rolled around, and then shit just hit the fan. Like, people was buying up the toilet paper, niggas was killing each other over a goddamn chicken sandwich and shit, and then it was just chaos. Like, what the fuck? And I feel like we really did not recover from that. Like, nobody's talking about it, and then it's just gotten worse. Like, and especially even after 2020 happened, that's when we started noticing like all these celebrities doing all this weird ass shit, like getting on crosses, pouring blood on themselves, and doing all this weird ass shit. Even I was getting into the weird ass shit, and that's when it was really pushing new age on people, because people were just searching for something. And like, even me and my girl was talking about, like, they was really teaching us about false gods and stuff, and fucking Greek gods, and all of this stuff. And it really makes you like, wow, we've really been indoctrinated to really have God out of our lives and really have Jesus out of our lives. It just makes you, it makes you completely just open to everything that's been happening. Like, it's like, wow. And you don't realize how real it is until it's really real. Like, I'm not saying this to get attention. I'm not saying this, I mean, I'm literally being gang stalked. I'm literally just telling it like it is, because it really feels like we are in the last, like, the true last days. Like, wow. But no one knows, it even says no one knows the day or the hour except for the Father. And we literally don't know when, but he says he will come in like a thief in the night. People will be getting married, eating, drinking. Life will be normal. Like, nothing's going on. No sign. They even said the generation will look for signs. Signs will not be onto them, but you'll know of the times. Like, you'll know of the times, because, and it just feels like we in that time, because it's just how things are going. And it's not to say that it'll happen like any day now, because that's what they want you to remember. They're gonna try to fool the elect. They're gonna try to bring up a great illusion to fool the people and stuff. But I just feel like ever since COVID happened and everything, it was almost like a pretest of what was to come, because everybody knows, like, soon, it even says in Revelation that we're not going to be able to buy or sell without the mark. And it just feels like that was and even if it was the mark, but it says no one will be able to accidentally take the mark or anything like that, because they'll know it'll be an active choice. So I know that wasn't the case, but it was definitely a test to see who would obey and who would bow to the system, who it already put in place of who was who would do what they need to do to have the comforts of this world, not knowing that they couldn't, that even if you got the comforts of this world, you couldn't take it with you. Like, you basically, and I'm not judging nobody who did, I'm just talking and telling it how it is. Like, basically, you know, like, when they gave us the, oh, if you don't take this and such, you know, you won't be able to get this job. It was just a pretest to see who would already obey, who wouldn't, who's part of the system, who's not. And it just really brings me to a revelation of, like, wow, it's really real. Like, it's really real. And I know I sound crazy, but it's just really real, because And it's how these world leaders be acting, and it's how even the whole gang stalking program, it's how people switched up, it's how they try to make you seem crazy. And of course you'll seem crazy to people who are still under the mind control of this fucking system. Like, shit, the world is ran by free maggots, and it's like, with that, it's a whole cult. They want you to bow and conform to their system and their ways, and it's completely fallen away from God. And that's why we have all this murder, this pestilence, this like, just now I was having a conversation, and they always use the excuse, well, if God is so great, then why does he kill all these children? Or why do children die? Or why do people go before their time? And I'm like, it even says in scripture that he takes people away from this world so they don't have to endure what's to come. And death to us seems like a bad thing, because their whole goal is to bring heaven here on earth and to have paradise here on earth. But that's just not the case, because it's a fallen world. It's filled with sin, and this world isn't paradise. And when we die, we return to the Father, and we get access to paradise, the true paradise, and we get to truly meet the Prince of Peace. And it's like, the world will trick you so much into thinking like, this is all you have, this is all there is, and this is what it's gonna be. And if you're not a millionaire with a Hellcat, you're shit out of luck. And it's like, that's not the case, because you can get that Hellcat, you can get that $10 million, you can get them hoes, you can get all them Insta followers, you can get all the admiration you like, but there's still gonna be this hole, this God-sized hole that you need to fill, because he's source. And when we try to deny him, and when we try, even when you have this ego that you're bigger than God, and that you don't need God, and that you got this on your own, you always gonna hit a wall, because it's just not possible. You can't live without source. You literally can't live. And even if you don't believe right now, even if you don't see his glory right now, because then there'll be people over here saying, well, where's the proof that he exists? If you look all around you, if you just look all around you, you can see there's proof of an almighty God. And just because something doesn't look like justice to you, don't mean that it's not justice being done. And just because, we do die, don't dismiss, or just because people, and it's unfortunate, and it's not his will that anyone should perish. And obviously it's not his will that anyone be killed or murdered or anything like that. But it's our will that chooses those things, and he respects our will so much, and you could say, well, why doesn't he interfere with that? But then if he were to interfere with every single little death and every single little thing that is happening around the world that someone else chose to do, and that's what their plans were enacted to be like, then it wouldn't truly be his will. And that's why I was even talking to my family and stuff, and my friends and stuff about this, because we were just in a topic about it. And I was like, we sit here and, like, that's why I'm like, the moment we get to talking about Jesus and God, people like to say, well, he clearly can't be an all-loving God if he allows this to happen. He clearly can't be an all-loving God if these people are allowed to run the world and stuff. And it's like, well, we have free will, and if we're choosing, like I said in the other video, if we're choosing to watch all these movies about murder and all these treacherous, tragic things, do you really have the heart of justice? Like, do you really have the heart of love and peace and serenity and one world peace? You don't, because when we're watching these movies and we're supporting these artists and we're covered in blood and all of this, and then you're shocked that kids are being murdered, and shocked that people are dying and homeless and all this, it's not adding up. That's contradictory to the spirit that you're moving in, because we sit here and say we want peace, we sit here and say we want love, we sit here and say we want unity, but then we go and support movies where people are getting murdered, where the government literally is telling you that we're under their mind control, and we either obey or we don't. And we just think this is, that's another blockbuster. It's not a blockbuster, babe. They're telling you the truth right there, like right in your face, and all we can do is just say, right on. And, you pledge your allegiance by holding up these symbols, and you pledge your allegiance by glorifying these, like, even Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, y'all sit here and y'all will say, why does God allow murder and this and that? But then you'll go sit down at a theater, and you'll go sit here and cheer on Jeffrey Dahmer and these people saying he's kind of hot. It's not adding up to me. It's really baffling, because when we look at it, we often try to blame God for our shortcomings and what we chose. And it's like, you could say, well, why did he give us an option? It's like, well, first off, are you mad at the fact that he gave? So it's like, you either want free will or you don't. But then again, you'll sit here and bow and surrender to the fallen one and his organization, while also trying to disprove God. I know that was a mouthful, but you get where I'm going with this. It's an entire intricate plot of basically the world against God. They even did this in the Bible, where they thought they could build a damn tower to him, and he had to mix around our languages, because humanity always thought we could either be above, exalt ourselves above God, or not need him, or just be greater. And again, there's nothing wrong wanting to be great, but when it comes to, you know, in the societal standard, when it comes to, like, for instance, when they do push the mark, they'll try to they're gonna make it in a way where it's bringing something good, like it's bringing unity and it's bringing one piece and stuff. And it's like, because that's exactly what the spirit of the Antichrist is. It's literally, you think it's about unity, but the Lord said he came here to separate and divide, because there's wheat and there's tares and there's heads and there's tails. And it's like, it's not all this one unity thing, because people were filled with spirits. There's things we can't see. And the reason why, and I'm getting back to it, I'm about to circle it around, and the reason why this interconnects with what was going on in today's age right now, and why we see so much chaos and different kind of shit going on, is because, well, it's really what we support. And I know I've said this multiple times, but it really is what we support, and it really is what we engage in. And it may not look like it's a big deal at that time, but it even says in the Bible that the enemy have blinded their eyes and blinded our spirits to where we can't really see what's going on. Like, it's not just black and white. Things are not, his ways are higher. Like, and I know I said that, but it's like, it's truly like that. Like, it's truly like that. Like, there's spirits. When you engage in this free maggotry, when you go to these rituals and these lodges and these and then you support these politicians, and we're voting, and we're thinking that's doing something, and then we go put up these symbols, and then they got the eye of horse everywhere, and you just think, well, what can I do about it? I'm one person, and we all have that mindset, and they know it's a herd mindset. And when we come into agreement with that, and we don't all fight against it, and I know we're not, because it's already written that things are going to happen how they happen, but I'm just talking about it because free will, free speech, and because you're not going to silence a match. But I'm just saying, since 2020, it's all crashed down little by little by little by little, and subtly, the agenda has become more and more and more apparent. Like, they try to disguise it as unity, disguise it as something empowering and upliftment, just like with all this technology shit. Like, I'm sure, like we already know, like, MK Ultra's here, Blue Beam, all this bullshit that they don't want us to talk about, and all this bullshit that people like to act like they don't exist, or they'll call you a crazy conspiracy theory because you're talking about it, or they'll try to shush you up and tell you, no, you can't talk about that because such and such, and they're gonna be mad if you talk about that. They just gonna have to be mad if I'm talking about it, because somebody got to talk about this shit. Like, we not just finna act like all this weird ass shit ain't happening. We just not finna act like all this shit is normalized. Like, we're quick. Like, I'm talking about, people are quick to say, well, I don't know why God would let that happen. But you're going out of your way. And I'm guilty of this too. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was excited for the new Him movie coming out. You know, the movie Him. I don't know. I was just, I was going through a lot of stress with the gang stalking. And I was like, well, I just want to go get the stress off and be entertained. And there was this YouTuber, and he convicted me. I believe his name was Marcus Rogers. I don't know if I said that wrong, and he convicted me because, and I don't think he was being a Pharisee about it. I genuinely think it was because he was genuinely telling the truth. Like, we shouldn't set our eyes on any wicked thing, because it is true. What we intake is what we will become, and what we will put out into the world. Because I was also looking to just be entertained and distract myself from what was going on around the world, but we should be distracted with Christ. That's why we have all these spirits. The moment we don't fill ourselves with the word, and the moment we go outside of Christ for that feeling of what we're looking for, of what we feel like will scratch that itch of easing and comforting us in that moment, is the moment we come in agreement, and is the moment he literally says, don't set our eyes on any wicked thing, and that's the moment it gets us. I mean, it's not just a movie. Like I said, they're doing spells and rituals. These celebrities don't just get big by their talent. It's not just talent. They're contacting the other side. Like, it's not like this world is bigger than what we see. Everything is spiritual. Everything is beyond what the flesh is. But some people don't see it like that. Some people just see it as, well, I can do what I want. This is what it is. And you can, and you have the freedom to do so. And yeah, but don't when everybody over here watching all these movies and listening to these songs about murder. I mean, we literally had a song that was #1 chart in the top charts about killing your fucking ex. And then when someone goes and kills your ex, then suddenly you over here, well, why would God let that happen? Well, why are you bumping the track? Why are we bumping the track? And I haven't watched The Matrix, but when we see films like that, and it literally tells you all this stuff about picking a side and doing this and these movies about fucking, you know, how the elite try to trick us by using color and magic and all of this. Why do we just sit here and think it's funny? Haha. No, they're serious. They got y'all wrapped around the finger. Like, we're gripped by the balls, by the literal fucking system. And no one bats an eye. No one says anything. Everyone thinks it's just a joke. Or you're just seen as a crazy outsider if you speak on it. And this all ties into 2020, because I believe 2020 was a big ass psyop. It was a big ass test. It was a big ass everything, and it gripped us by the balls. It had everybody fucked up. Like, I'm talking about, since then nothing has been the same. Even I wasn't the same. Even my family wasn't the same. Like, things just did not feel the same. And even now, it feels like we're still dealing with the remnants of what even happened. Like, it feels like a whole blurred illusion of just chaos. Like, and all it was just to see how wrapped around and gripped by the balls they really have us. They just wanted to see who was really gonna fall. They just wanted to see who they had fooled and who they didn't have control of. And now I feel like it's just a division of, for instance, I'm being gang stalked, so it's like I feel like it's a division of, well, now we're just in the time of, okay, these are the people that they have with them and standing with the free maggots, and then these are the people who are not part of the system and haven't been fully fooled yet. And even if, you know, you're still trying to find your way through the midst of all of this, and you're trying to, like, you know, you're not on either or side, and you're just on the fence. The Lord said we can't be lukewarm, because he'll spit us out. So you're either on fire, or you're cold, or he just gonna spit you out. And it's like, and he'd rather you be hot or cold. He'd rather you not be on trying to play both sides. So it's like, and then there's controlled oppositions. It's like this whole thing is truly a test, and it's like it's just spiritual warfare has increased over the last couple of years, and you can truly tell, because, like I said, like when I was with the world and when I was engaged in all of that, it was no problem. Nobody was trying to condemn me. Nobody was trying to correct my behavior or anything like that. But when I got on my knees and repented and called out to Jesus and surrendered my life to him, that's when everybody started to throw their stones. That's when everybody started to cast all their insecurities and their doubts and their thoughts of what person that I should be onto me, and tried to stop me from talking, and tried to make me look crazy, and tried to overwhelm me, and tried to dissipate the message and the will that the Lord put inside of me. And it's like, when we think about this, it's a lot going on in the world right now in this time, and it's only getting worse. And it's like, I've been told some really weird stuff and things, and it's like, I truly think we're in the last days. I feel like COVID was a genuine, I think it was the first domino. Well, not the first domino, because shit had been going down since the 90s, really, because that's when they first introduced all this stuff. Like, the moment technology started getting really heavy and stuff, that's when, Big Brother really started to, get his power. Like, back in the day, we had the power in our hands. We would grow our crops. Our vote would actually matter because, at the time, we had better a mental stability. We were following God. And when I say we, I just mean people of the past, because it's the conscious, and we were more in tune and had similar values as a nation. Now everyone's so divided. You're either red or blue. You're either in this group of people, or you're of this group of people. You're either racist or you're not racist. You either love black people, you hate black people. You hate white people, you don't. They done divided us, and they done divided us. They done confused the people. They done took away our freedom. Like, little by little, our freedoms are being taken from us. And I was talking about this the other day, because when I really loved van life and stuff like that. And when I had saw that they were trying to put out a law trying to make it to where people couldn't sleep in their cars and stuff, or even like sleeping in your backyard and stuff like that, or just camping and doing stuff like that, and they were trying to take that away, I was like, wow, our rights are slowly, like, and no one's batting an eye to this, because we're so worried about Sexy Red and Ice Spice and streamers, and we're looking at movies and Fantastic Four. We're not realizing that the very things that are in our amendment, that our forefathers tried to set up and everything. And by the way, I feel like that's a hoax still. That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother, I feel like that was never the case. I honestly feel like it's a whole thing. But like what our forefathers did, keep in mind, we had to fight for rights. We had to fight for rights. And I know that's been a thing throughout history, but I'm just saying, keep this in mind. So if we know this, that we had to fight for our very freedom, why do we think it's comfortable to literally get comfortable and get sleepy in a time like this? Why do we think it's comfortable to just lay back, kick back, and just let shit happen and not speak when we fought so hard to get to this point? And honestly, I feel like that's part of the tactic. Because if you dumb down a society, if you get them nice and comforted and give them the leisures of this world, they ain't gonna want to stand up to you. You eating good, you getting taken care of, you don't want to stick up to us. No, take this mark. You want to be comfortable, don't you? But it's like, we can't be blinded by that. Like, I'm telling you, it's only gonna get worse. Like, I honestly fear, like, what's to come, even in the next, 1 year, 2 years, shit, let alone 5 years. The fuck, like, it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. And by the time, by the time we even realize it, it'll be too late, because by that point, you're gonna be lined up making a choice. It's either you bow, or you don't eat, or you die. And it's as simple as that. And the Bible really speaks about this, and it's just so crazy. And it's like, we're the generation that's seeing this in real time, and I find it crazy that not more people talk on it and get on it. And it's like I understand if you had to join to, because right now the mark isn't out. It's not mandatory. We're not in a state of panic where it's like, okay, if you don't do this, it's not gonna happen. But when COVID hit, I feel like that's when it was just a little pre-trial to see who would go the extra mile for this system, and who would go the extra mile for, the things of this world. And it is like they've really done. It's taken it, and that's the thing. That's why they're so protective over it, because imagine, it's taken them years to break down the collective conscious to become this easily swayed by one person's public opinion just because they have some form of influence, or just because you like the way the beat of their song is, or just because you like something they said. They have us gripped in such a way that it just takes one person that's within their group and within their society to say something that's completely far away from the foundations of Jesus, and to mold people's minds and shape it in a way that they want it and they see fit for their agenda. And the reason why this is dangerous is because they don't have our best interests in mind. We are not their top priority. When we follow Jesus, he knows your heart's desire. He knows what you want. He knows what you need, and he will always provide. And people sit here and say, well, why are some people homeless and this and that and this and that's because of corporate greed. Again, that's what we allowed. That's what we are literally funding. That's what people aren't voting against. That's what people aren't fighting against. We can't just put all the blame on Jesus when we're at fault for literally a good majority of what we do. Like, it's like we sit here and expect, it's like we want two sides of the same coin. You want free will, but you also don't want to face the consequences of your actions. But you kind of want to have consequences for when, like, it's not you and when other people mess up, but you expect the same respect. It's like we're trying to make ourselves the double-edged sword. The only double-edged sword that exists is the living word. He literally says it's a double-edged sword, and we just don't like it. He even says those that have ears should have ears to listen, and his sheep know when he calls. And it's miraculous because he made some people like that for a specific reason, and within that reason, one, to show his glory, and it even says every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. So eventually everybody will come to this realization that Jesus Christ is Lord. But as of right now, it's beautiful that he lets you exercise your will to go against him in this foreseeable time, so you can fully see what it's like to live without Christ. Because when you go to these devices, and when you join these groups, and when you do these rituals, and when you're voting, and when you're in all of this stuff, you still feel empty. You still feel like there's something missing. You still feel like, like you can still have all the comforts of the world, and you still feel like something's not there. And that's because the thing that you're missing is Jesus. Like, the thing that you're missing is the Holy Spirit. The thing that you're missing is the living word. And it's like, I know that was a mouthful. I'm just in my garage, but it's like, that's what we're missing. And I know, like, I sound crazy because that's what they want you to be labeled as and stuff like that, and like when you talk about stuff like this, but it's genuinely serious. That's why the world is going down how it's going down. That's why we have kids murdering kids. That's why we have teens murdering teens. That's why we have adults murdering. We have full on it. And it's like, now they're trying to cause a civil war. That's literally what they're trying to do. And it's like, they're just trying to cause division, fighting, and all this, because they're just trying to distract us. Because if the whole nation were to turn to Christ, they're fucked. I mean, they're fucked. They don't have anything. They literally, they all them years of work, all them years of spell work, all them years of MK Ultra, and it's deeper than me. And I know I don't know everything, but I'm just saying that eventually the Antichrist, will rise, and we were just being prepped for that when COVID came. But eventually he will come to rise, and we will, face one of the biggest choices we ever will have to make in the history of ever. And we will go through some of the most craziest shit we've ever had to go through. And that's why I was responding when me and my family were talking, because she was like, well, why, does people die before their time and stuff like that? And it's like, well, the Lord says when people die before their time, it's to save them from what's to come. Like, even when my dad died, I wasn't angry, but I was like, I knew it was for a bigger purpose. And when my dad died, I wasn't fully with Jesus. In fact, my dad was the one to tell me about the Bible in the whole first place. And I even told him at the time I didn't believe it, and he was such a sweetie pie. And he told me, it's my choice and everything. And when I got older, I realized that I was gravely mistaken, because you will not live in peace without Christ. And it's the truth, because when you're without Christ, and when you're bowing to the system and stuff, everyone's your friend. Everyone's like, yeah. They're like, yeah, birds of a feather. Yeah, we're doing great. Then the moment you step out of that, and the moment you go seek, and you go into the wilderness, and you talk to Jesus, and you change your life around, and you do the will of the Spirit. It even says flesh is weak, spirit is willing. when you do the will of the Spirit, that's when people will turn on you. That's when the world will make you think you're crazy. They want to defame you. They want to make you look absolutely fucking lunatical. They want you to be a lunatical pickle. They want you to look crazy. And I'm telling you, what I speak to you is truth. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not claiming to know everything. I'm not claiming to be this, yeah, I got the answers, I see the future. That's like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you the truth is Jesus. That's why they do it so much. That's why it's so much opposite. That's why it's so much crazy shit going on. Nobody wants to surrender. Like, and some people could know deep in their hearts, but it's this ego, it's this pride. You don't want to suck it up. You don't want to, and they don't want to turn from their sin. They don't want to turn from it because they love it so much. They think it's a part of them. And again, it's not even about sin. He knows what you would do before you do it. He knows every hair on your head. He knew who you would be before you were it. So it's not what you're doing. That's a trick of the devil. He just wants a relationship. He just wants an intimate time with you. He just wants to get to know you. He literally, and he wants you to get to know him. He already knows you. He just wants you to go out of your way to talk and speak to him. I mean, imagine. He sat here and formed you in your mother's womb, formed you, gave you a name, gave your parents a name, sat here and made your storyline as perfect as it can be, and you developed into who you are as you are because that was his will, and then you don't want to talk to him. You don't want to seek him. You don't want to admit that he's Lord. You don't want to go. You think you're better than the Lord. You think you're higher than the Lord even. You don't even want to give him a little kiss in the spirit. Like, imagine that. Like, and no one thinks about how heart-wrenching that truly is. Even with all the mockery, like, it makes you think, why are you mocking an almighty God? And it's because they genuinely only have one goal, and they genuinely want to be Jesus. They want to have his power. They want to have his influence. That's why people even in the Bible there was this man in the Bible who tried to kill Jesus' people, and even the man who was with, again, I don't know the scripture, but even the man that was with that person that did it told him, just because you kill these people don't mean the religion dies. The religion will still live on. And that's why the Lord said, even though things of this world will fall away, his spirit is eternal, and the kingdom will be here eternally. Like, it will still be here. So if you don't see the truth now, people will laugh now, mock, but they're going to gnash later. Like, he says, in hell it will be wailing and gnashing of teeth. That don't sound like nothing fun. Like, I've heard people say, it's gonna be a party. Okay, all right. If you think you're gonna be conga lining in a fiery fucking furnace, if you think you're gonna be conga lining with all your favorite celebs and all these demons and shit, and you think Satan's your friend, he's not your friend. It is written, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He is not your friend. Once he uses you for his agenda, he will discard you. He will throw you into the very fire. You're like twine to him. He will throw you in there. You're like twine. You're just feeding his fire. You're feeding his agenda. Once he's done with you, sure, he'll give you what you want. He'll give you everything you ever dreamed of in that moment. But once he's done using you, once you've done his purpose, he'll throw you in that fire and use you as fuel. And make you bring more twigs into the mix. He'll let you lead other people into the very fall you're about to fall into. He's not your friend. You may think he's your friend. He may sit here and play ha-ha with you. You may feel powerful in that moment. That's why you have so many celebrities, when they say they ended up getting everything that they wanted. They ended up doing the thing, did the deal, did all that, and then boom. Spirits, destruction, still wasn't happy, drugs, infirmity, like all this stuff came upon them, and they didn't know why. And that's because he's a liar. The devil is a liar. He's the father of lies. He will literally, he don't play fair. He don't play fair. He'll trick you. He a tricky trickster. Swiper, no swiping. He don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck about you. He don't care about your interests. He don't care about what he knows what you like. He knows what you want to do. He knows what the case is. But guess who knows more? Guess who knows better? And guess who has your genuine interest in mind and wouldn't use you as Tinder unless you choose to be? No swipe right. Jesus, literally. He literally loves you to death. He literally to death. He literally died for this very reason. He died for our sins, past, present, and future, and he knew what we do before we do it. So it's not about the sin. It's not about, it's the spirit behind us. He died for the spirits that are behind us, not for who you think you are or what you think is the reason why you're not loved by Jesus. Jesus loves everyone. Or why you think, because so many people have church hurt, and so many people have just a warped perception of like who Jesus is. Like, and even I've heard people like, but that's why it says in the Bible, no man is good, so no one can boast. Like, even I've heard people, and they can have the wrong impression, and even what I'm saying could make them be like, oh, who is she to talk when she was like this and she was like this. And again, if I've hurt anyone, I'm sorry. Like, again, I was a different person in the past, and you know, I was a whole different, I was filled with spirits, riddled with spirits. Like I said, when I was engaged and all that stuff, you know, I was a more angry person, a bitter person, a lost person. I was lost and bound. And when you're part of the free maggots, you're lost and bound, because you're not realizing, you're not surrendering to the true power of the universe. Like, this is Jesus. This is God. Like, this is, yes, this is him. Like, every other religion will get you to stray off. No other religion says that I am the way and the truth and the life. And people will ask for proof and all of this. How much more proof do you need, bucko? You're filled with spirits. You can't control yourself. Who you think you need? Who you gonna call? Jesus? Like, what do you mean? Like, you think, even if you did sign your name on a line, even if you think you can't get out of it, I promise, if you really want out of it, all you have to do is call on Jesus. He will get you out of whatever you think of. Now, of course, the things that the devil gave you will wash away, because that's not what the Lord has in store for you. The Lord has treasures greater for you than what the devil could ever give you. And those things are spiritual gifts. Those things are fruits of the spirit. Those things are things that can never be taken from you. Even, you know, you'll be able to stand in the face of adversity, stand in the face of temptation. You'll be able to stand in the midst of transgression and know that he is Lord, because he even says, you will go through your light affliction, but it's okay, be of good cheer, because he has already overcame the world. He already overcame these things. All you have to do is call on him. And man, it's just a whole thing. I feel like it's just a lot going on in the atmosphere. We're all just feeling the weight and pressures of these demonic principalities. And that's what they also don't want us to talk about. That's why it's such a false thing, because they get all this knowledge from these false gods and all these fallen angels and all these fallen principalities and stuff, and it makes them think that they found, you know, the living God. But in reality, these are people who were once, you know, of that, of a good nature and of a good conscience and motive. But in reality, they got warped themselves by spirits and warped themselves by their own selfish greed and pride. And that's what led to the fall in the first place. And when we engage in them and go to them for this knowledge, and go to them for this foresight, and go to them for this sense of belonging, and trying to seek who we are and trying to guide us as a society, it's like we're not getting anywhere, because they're not the true living God. But it's all glory to the Lord, because it's a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual war. And all in all, the Lord is just trying to see who's choosing what. Are you going to come to me in a world full of distractions? When you're terrified, are you going to call on me? When the comforts of this world are screaming your name, are you going to come to me? Even though it may be discomforting, are you going to come to me? Are you going to endure the trials and tribulations for my name? Are you going to come to me and endure? Because even though in that moment it may seem like we're enduring something difficult, because let's be real, they have numbed us to they turned us into a soft generation. Like, I will admit, I'm a soft gal myself. Like, nobody wants to work that long. Nobody wants to go through nothing difficult, babe. We just don't. But it's like, when we talk about fruits of the spirit, and when we talk about the laboring of the spirit, sacrifices have to be made. Even the devil makes you sacrifice stuff. So it's like, But the sacrifices the devil makes you do, it causes pain to the soul. It causes hurt to the soul. But the sacrifices the Lord asks from you, it feeds your soul. It gives you more. It gives you more fruit of the spirit. Your tree becomes plentiful. But the devil, he'll burn your roots. He'll burn your roots down. So it's just a matter of a question of how much do you want it, and who are you willing to give it to, and each of these have their own well, with Jesus is only advantages, but with the devil it just seems like there's an advantage because you're getting all these worldly material things. You're getting the fame, you're getting the coin, and it seems like that's an advantage. But the disadvantage is it'll eat at your soul and it'll drag you down to the very pits of hell from whence he came. And that's why he's jealous and he wants to snatch as many people and as many souls with him. And that's why in the era that we're in is so important. And I mean, I can't stress this enough. Jesus is real. I can't stress this enough. He is real. He dwells within all of you. He loves all of you no matter what you've done. I don't care if you've done the worst thing in the world. If there's still breath in your lungs that he blessed you with, all you have to do is call out to him and he will turn you over. He will use what the enemy used to rattle and shake your spirit and defile your temple, and he will use that and clean it up. He will turn that into good. He says what the enemy meant for evil, he will use for our good. And whatever you think you did, whatever deal, whatever contract, whatever free maggot ritual, whatever thing you think you went too far on, nothing's too great for the Lord, and he will always clean you up. That's why in this era is just so important. Like, don't focus on if someone who hurt you and was a Christian, and it's not that they're a Christian. We're all filled with spirits. Nobody's perfect. Like, literally, as I speak, I told you, when I was into all that stuff, I genuinely felt like, I'll be jokingly saying it, like I was possessed, but I genuinely wasn't in the right headspace. I'm listening to shit that I have no business to. I'm over here looking into shit that I have no business to. Unbiblical shit. Just searching for truth anywhere but the word. When it is written. The very stuff that I'm talking about is written. It's already there. The very stuff we're all seeing and witnessing now, it is written. And we still sit here and say it's not true. We still sit here and say and try to deny it. We still sit here and we acknowledge him, but we ignore the absolute power and control and dominion that he has. Literally, the devil cannot move. He just let the devil have his big one because that's his glory. He literally, and the reason why he did that is because he values our free will so much. He's literally, I remember he was the favorite of thing, and all he wanted that was his most inner burning desire, to be like the Most High. The Lord didn't say he was. He said to be like. And yes, he roams and rules this earth. But did the Lord say he rules him and this universe? No, we gotta clock it. That's why I'm like, when I see people hold these symbols, and when I see people worship these celebrities, and these celebrities doing a big one with these symbols, it's like, it's all a test. It's all a test of faith and heart, and where we're gonna sway to. And it's like, even though it's written that, he ultimately, we naturally are going to get swayed into things, we have no business, and, spirits and principalities of darkness and wickedness and stuff. He simply does it to show his glory, because when he comes back, and even in things that happened in previous times, it shows and proves that he already overcame the world. Because we always talk about the evil things, but in the midst of all these evil things, there are still good things that happen. There's still the Holy Spirit operating. Miracles are still occurring. Things are still occurring that are of the fruit of Jesus. So it's not like, it's just, we just got to kick back and relax and see what's to come, because Jesus is king. And he already overcame the very evil things that we worry about and try to debate about and try to do all the things. And remember, his ways are higher. We're not going to understand why somebody dies. And who's to say that death is the end all be all. Like, we look at death as this terrible thing because y'all love the world. Y'all love the things. We love the things of this world. It's and the world isn't all there is. This isn't paradise. If this is paradise, the eyes showed on that this isn't it. There's something greater. He already made a home for us. He already prepared a place for us. And when people look at death as a punishment, or death as like this thing that's stealing something from us, when we're actually gaining everything that we could ever, because when you do a deal with the devil, you're gaining the world, you're gaining everything of this world. But when you die and you go to Christ, you're gaining all the treasures and all the fruit and all the will of the Holy Spirit. And that's that's, obviously that's if you accept him and put him in your heart, and you truly surrender to him, and you follow him, and you're just seeking him diligently, and you're having an intimate relationship. But all in all, I'm just saying, it's just the moral of the story is it's a battle between good and evil, light and dark, and who's the wheat, who's the tares, and it's just a show that everything that's why it has to happen. It has to come to pass. The Antichrist will rise and stuff, and COVID was just a pretest, and it's all to see where our will is going and what's going to happen. And even though it's already written, he wants to see like who and when and where. And even though he knows, he wants to, it's a whole thing. His ways are higher. He wants to see where our will is flowing and where our heart is really guiding towards. Because, like even, for instance, because we could say we down, but then you even saw my boy Peter. Rooster will crow 3 times. You gonna say you don't know me, babe. So we just gotta be vigilant. We just gotta stay prayed up. We just gotta truly follow Jesus with all our heart and give it all to him. Surrender to him, and truly don't let no one knock you down. Like, if you have a message, and if you're being gang stalked, and if they try to make you feel like you're a terrible person or something's wrong with you, nothing's wrong with you, babe. You just found the true light of the world, and they don't like that, because roaches don't like when the lights come on. They scatter. So they don't like lights. Have a good day.